Hi there, I'm Coach Kenneth,
And I'm Coach Victoria.
and in this video we're going to be talking to you about the mindset in no contact.
Mindset is everything.
It really is. It's going to have such a huge impact on you and how you get through your situation and your breakup. I have seen so many clients over the years, and the ones that are positive and optimistic are going to be a far more likely to come out on top outside of this after the breakup, or to reattract your ex if they come back.
Right. And we're not talking about this toxic positivity. Let's just ignore all the things that bring us pain and suffering. No. We're saying let's acknowledge the losses for what they are. Let's be able to feel our feelings and do all of those things and choose to have a positive perspective. So in this video, we're going to talk about some important mindset shifts. Wow, that's a tongue twister. Mindset shifts that you can do in no contact that can help you not only survive, because mindset is important for us to keep going, but for us to succeed and thrive and feel good about where we are.
Yep.
All right, so the first one is shifting from a mindset of preparing for the worst to that mindset of hope, to that mindset that we're preparing for the best and we naturally gravitate towards the things that we want.
Absolutely. I came across some research probably about a month ago, and I meant to, I think I shared it with you. Yeah, we have to talk, we need to talk about that in a video where it talked about the difference between the people that are positive and have this positive mindset. Literally at the start of my videos, it says every situation is different and every breakup is different. And we have videos about hope and false hope, as people talk about. Guys, not all of you are going to get another chance with your ex. We say that all the time, okay? Some of you will. Some of you who think you will get a chance might not. Many of you who think you won't, will, okay? Especially when you leave that person alone. But you want to focus on the things that you can control, and that is reflecting on things, looking at who you are, who you want to be, and how prepared you want to be to date someone new or be prepared for that person when they come back.
Right. And a lot of times in the comments, we see a lot of people just saying that there's no hope, that their ex is just gone forever. And so this is really where we're talking about mindset, right? Our attitude, how we look at life really impacts everything. It impacts how we manage and deal with a breakup. So you see a lot of mindset kind of things that shed some light on our mindset from how somebody handles a breakup. And I used to be actually one of those people who would say, well, it's better to prepare for the worst and then be surprised when something good happens, right? I used to be so into that mentality and into that mindset. But what I had realized through my own growth, when you think that way, you're not preparing yourself for the best. And so this is really where we're trying to get you to see that different perspective of, we want you to be prepared for the best case scenario and say, okay, I got this. I've thought this through. I've considered that this could be one of the many possibilities and many outcomes that could have happened. So that's what we're trying to get you to see. Another important mindset shift, man, I'm going to be struggling with this tongue twister, is shifting from that mindset of loss to that mindset of gratitude.
Not easy.
Not easy at all.
Not easy. Especially, if you're early in the breakup, right? And you're still so overwhelmed with anxiety and depressed, and, you're struggling with every day just to get up and to stop obsessing about somebody. But over time, if you can get to that place where you are grateful for, having that experience, having that relationship, and the positive things that will come from this breakup. Because if it wasn't for me going through bad breakups, I wouldn't be doing what I do. And I love what I do. So I am grateful for even the pain that I went through, because that helped propel me to learn what I learned and to teach literally hundreds of thousands of people how to change their life.
Yeah. And so gratefulness, it's a really important tool. I remember being in college and I went to just like student counseling center, and I had a therapist there, and he told me to have a gratitude journal. And at the time I was so bratty. I was like, a gratitude journal? What is that supposed to do? How is that going to change my problems? Right? But I was like, all right, well, I'm going to just do what the guy says and give it a try. And I was actually surprised that writing down just one thing I was grateful for each day shifted my perspective, because I was looking for that thing. I started to think, well, what am I going to write in my journal today? And I started reflecting too, retrospectively. Well, what was I grateful for? What good things happened? And so the more that those things circulate in your mind, the more you're aware of them. There's good things happening all the time that just pass us by. So some of you have been just broken up with, just dumped, and you're thinking, man, I'm not going to have this again. It's over, it's done, and just feeling the intensity of that loss because you experienced something so good.
Yeah.
That reframe is, it was so good that you want more. It was so good that you're watching this video, probably to do no contact, probably to repair that relationship because you loved it so much. So sometimes there's people that cross our paths that we cannot describe or explain the type of connection that we have. They're our energetic match, and Craig laughs at me when I say that, our energetic match. Just love the terminology of that. But there's no words to describe what that connection feels like. And I think that in itself is magical, and it can be, quickly compared to just that feeling of loss, right? We feel something so intensely and insanely good and close and connected and transcendent sometimes, right? And then it's paired with, oh my gosh, I've lost this. I'm alone now. I just have myself to face.
Yeah.
Right? So this is an important mindset shift in no contact that can be helpful, is thinking, okay, what are the things that I was grateful for in this relationship, and can I accept those things for what they are, right? Can I find some joy in this memory?
It can be tough.
It can be so tough.
Because you miss it so much, or that person so much.
And for those of you who have been through grief, who have lost somebody significant in your life, this adds some color to that concept, right? When you're thinking back to a person that you've loved that is no longer here, you think about, man, the gratefulness that you have for having experienced that person. So
yeah, so true.
That's to another extreme. Your ex is still out there. So, all right. Another important mindset shift is the mindset from scarcity to abundance.
So many people are afraid that they're not going to get love again. Their ex will not come back again. They'll never meet somebody else. And boy, it really keeps us stuck. Right? Yeah.
And when we're going through a breakup, just going back to what I was saying, when you're dumped, you feel like, man, you've lost everything. And you also get this feeling of, I'm never going to feel this again. I'm never going to experience this again. It's all tainted, right? And that's coming more from that scarcity mindset of, there's limited amounts of this joy. There's limited amounts of this connection out there in the world. And so I have to grasp on to the little bits and pieces of it that I have, or else it's gone forever. Right? And the mindset shift here is thinking more abundantly. There is a lot of love and connection out there. There's not going to be the same connection as your ex, right? But there's going to be connections out there that are fulfilling, that are satisfying, that make you excited to wake up in the morning, right? And that's the mindset shift. And I find a lot of people who are in depression, one of those things that you experience is anhedonia, which is not wanting to do anything fun. You're not interested in the things that you were interested anymore.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of times people who are depressed, they have this feeling of, I've already peaked. I've already experienced the fun things. It's all downhill from here. And it can be difficult to shift from that mindset to one where you're more hopeful and excited and enthusiastic again, right? And it takes work, it takes healing, it takes caring for yourself to get to that place. But it's an important shift.
Absolutely.
Another important shift is one from self-pity to belief that you are a worthy partner. This is another one that's quite tough, because a lot of times we're dealing with these messages that we've learned from childhood. We're trying to, break these intergenerational chains that we have on us to do something different, not only for us, but for the future of our family. So this can be a really tough one to say, I am worthy of love. I'm worthy of this connection.
Yeah, and especially if we are reflecting back and we're thinking about the quote-unquote mistakes that we made, or, the things that we wish we had done differently, or we think about our partner's needs that maybe we neglected, or how we were neglectful of the relationship and took it for granted. It could be really overwhelming, and we could just get really stuck in repeatedly beating ourselves up day after day. And that's just not going to get you anywhere, okay? Now, it's certainly helpful to take a look back and to reflect, and so you can work through that and grow and, have a different outlook on things. But, we all make mistakes. And sitting there beating yourself up and punishing yourself is not going to help you. It's not going to help you reattract anybody. It's not going to help you through this breakup any better. So understand that many people make mistakes in relationship, right? Only Margaret was perfect. And that you are a worthy partner, and you're focused on becoming an even healthier partner for your ex or for somebody else that you'll date in the future.
Exactly. And just to quote Margaret, she would say it's okay to have a pity party sometimes, right? But she would say don't stay there. So just as Craig was saying, it's important to acknowledge maybe some of the mistakes that happen, some of the regrets that you have, but it's also important to have compassion for yourself. Easier said than done. And be able to, move forward, give yourself another opportunity and take those other opportunities. I find that there's many of us that miss our next opportunity to make things right because we're so focused on how we messed up the last time, right? And sometimes we're so scared that we're going to mess up again that we end up, getting in our own way because we're thinking about that versus thinking, wow, I have another opportunity and I've learned, I have the experience now. So I have an advantage over past me.
Right? And, one of the videos that I did a long time ago, it was called Focus on What You Want. It's a great video.
I think about this all the time, okay?
Yeah.
For some of you who think that the things that we talk about, we don't think about or we don't apply to our own lives, we do. We use these tools on our day-to-day, and this is one that I think about often.
It's true, because you want to focus on what you want to happen and where you want to go, because your unconscious will take you in that direction, whether you understand that or not. And I remember, I think I gave this example in the video years ago, where it was talking about somebody driving down the road, and there's literally nothing on the road but a telephone pole or electric pole or something like that. But when your mindset and you lose control of the car, if you're focusing on not hitting the pole, that's exactly what you do, is your car hits the pole, right? So you have to focus on where you want to go in life and creating those things. If you focus on the negative, your unconscious creates that negative, right? So you don't want to think about what you're afraid of going wrong, because you're almost going to create that for yourself. You want to focus on what you want to happen, and then you're going to be a lot more likely to make that happen.
Right. Another analogy that I was given by another mentor that I had, so he would say, when you're driving and you focus on the road ahead of you, you get where you're trying to go. But if you focus on the windshield, then suddenly you kind of lose your bearings and you don't really know what's next or what's ahead. I don't advise you to try this. I think I had maybe just gotten my license when I was told about this. And so I tried it while I was driving and it was disorienting. Okay, don't do it. But the point here is focusing on what you want gets you where you want to be. All right, another important mindset shift, I feel like we're Tony Robbins today, is shifting from hoping things work out to focusing on what you can do. This is something that you had mentioned earlier. So going from that place of inaction and, things will just kind of sort themselves out, or I'll just become secure one day, right? To making things happen, to getting into action, doing the things you can, thinking about your locus of control.
Absolutely. And that's why we have the workbooks and the creative healing course, because that is all going to keep you directed and focused on healing and growing. There's so many different kinds of activities, cartoons, art therapy activities, thousands of questions, videos, whiteboard videos, audio affirmations. trying to get you to heal and to grow. And that's what you're focusing on in no contact, as opposed to, where's my ex at? What is my ex doing? Who is my ex talking to? That's all out of your control. There's nothing you can do about that. Mm-hmm. Either they're going to pick up the phone one day and contact you, or they're not. And either you're going to be ready for them and prepared for that, or you're not. Well, if you spend all your time worrying about where they're at and what they're doing while they're having all these new experiences, and you're stagnant and depressed and just beating yourself up, how are you going to be prepared to turn things around with them and have something healthier? Yeah. Got to really think about those things. I know it's not easy. I know it's tough. But we're trying to get you to focus on that direction, the personal growth.
Mm-hmm. And sometimes you don't even know what to shift perspective to until you're exposed to it. So that's why we decided to make this video and just talk about some of the ways that we can reframe things, how we view things, and we think about these things. It's not to say that we never get into that mindset of, oh man, everything's doom and gloom and, down from here. Yeah, we're human. Everybody does from time to time. But thinking, okay, how can I choose to shift my mindset here, and what am I shifting it to? What are we thinking about? What are we changing here? So we're hoping that this video was helpful, just to get you to think in different ways, move the neurons around, wiggle them up, and help you really through this breakup, because we know how hard it can be.
Absolutely. So hopefully this one's been helpful to you. Of course, if you want to get our help personally, you could do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching, and I do Zoom calls. Coach Victoria is also available for Zoom calls.
I'm here whenever you'd like to chat.
Just click on her name at the top of the website to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.